In this video, you will see the solution to the practice exercise Create Design Options. In this exercise, we're asked to create a design option for the balconies on an apartment block. We'll need to create an option set with two options, and then add the existing balconies to those options and modify them within option 2. Once we've created the design option, we'll create some plan views, elevation views and 3D views for each option, and then we'll place those onto a sheet so they can be compared side by side. I have the exercise file, apartment block, open, and we can see the balconies in the view here that we need to create the options for. So to do this, we'll go to the Manage Ribbon tab first, and then on the Design Options panel here, we'll click the Design Options button. And first, we'll create a new option set, and then we'll pick the option set and click Rename, and we'll name this as Balcony Options. And click OK. So now we have the balcony options set. We'll click New to create a new option, which will be option 2. So now we have the option set created. We'll click Close, and we're ready now to edit the balconies. So first I'll pick one of the balconies, and then from the right click menu here, I'll choose Select All Instances, Visible in View. And we can see now we've got those balconies selected, and looking at the properties palette here, we can see we have 6 and their model groups, and they're currently balcony type 1. So I'll go down to the status bar at the bottom of the view, and we'll click Add to Set. And now we'll add those balconies into both option 1 and option 2. So we'll click OK. And now we can't pick those balconies as they're now within the option, and we currently have the main model as the active design option. So from the Manage Ribbon tab here, I'll swap to option 2. So that's the active design option now. And now we can see that we have those balconies. So I can just window select, as we can only pick the objects that are within the option. And now from the properties palette here, we can see we have balcony type 1. We'll come and change it to balcony type 2. And we can see that those new balcony types are applied to the model. I'll swap back to option 1. And we can see the original balcony types there, and with option 2, we then have the updated balcony types. So that creates the design option for us. And we'll swap back to the main model. And with the main model, we can see option 1, as option 1 is the primary option here. Which means when we look through the different views, so if I open up the level 2 plan view, we can see option 1 is visible, and also the west elevation view. And we can see option 1, and also our exterior 3D view here. And again, option 1 is visible. So I'll swap back to level 2. And we need to create 2 option views for this plan. So to do this, I'll go to the View ribbon tab. And on the Create panel here, we'll click the Duplicate View drop down. And then I'll pick Duplicate with Detailing. In the project browser, we can see we have level 2 copy 1. So I'll right click and choose Rename. And then we can rename this as level 2 balcony option 1. Now we have that view, I'll change the view scale. So we'll set this to be 1/8 of an inch equals 1 foot. Then I'll pick on one of the elevation markers here, and from the right click menu, we can choose Hide in View category. So now we have that view created. We need to make sure that it only displays option 1, because currently if I swap to option 2, then that would also be displayed in this view. So I'll swap back to main model. And now looking at the properties palette here, we have the parameter for visible in option, and it's currently set to all, which means it will show the active design option. So we'll swap this and change it to option 1. And now if we change the active design option, that won't be reflected in this view. Once again, I'll swap back to main model. So now we'll duplicate this view for option 2. So again, from the View ribbon tab here, we'll click Duplicate View and Duplicate with Detailing. Then we can right click and rename in the project browser here. And we'll name this for option 2. And now in the properties palette, we can change the visible in option parameter and set that to be for option 2. And now we can see that this view will display option 2. So now I'll go down to the west elevation and we'll create 2 option views for here too. So we'll right click over the west elevation view and choose duplicate view. And then we can right click and rename, and we'll call this west balcony option 1. So now we have the view created. I'll select one of the level markers here, and then from the right click menu here, I'll choose to hide in view category, so they're no longer visible in the view. And now looking at the properties palette, we don't have the parameter here for visible in option. So instead we'll go to the visibility graphic overrides and we'll click the edit button. And looking in here, we have a design options tab, and we see the balcony options set here, and it's currently set to automatic, so we'll click and then choose option 1 primary, and we'll click OK. And now we have that set so this view will only display option 1. So once again, we'll right click over the view and choose duplicate view. And then we'll rename this to be west balcony option 2. And then we'll go back to the visibility graphic overrides and click edit. And on the design options tab, we'll set the design option to be option 2. And click OK. And we can see we have option 2 visible in this view. We also have the exterior 3D view here. And again, we'll right click and duplicate this. And we'll rename this, and we'll call it balcony option 1. And in the properties palette, we have the visible in options parameter here, so we'll set this to be option 1 primary. And then we can right click and duplicate the view once more. And again, right click and rename and call it balcony option 2. And we'll go back to the properties palette now, and for the visible in option parameter, we'll pick option 2. And we can see those balconies update in the view. So now we have all of the views created. We have the 2 plan views, the 2 elevation views, and the 2 3D views. We'll go down to the balcony options sheet here in the project browser, and we'll open this view up. We can see that we have a blank sheet here, so we'll start by placing the plan views on the sheet. So I'll get the level 2 balcony option 1 view here. We'll drag that into the view. And now we can place that in the lower left corner. We'll assemble the option 1 views vertically on the sheet here. So I'll go and get the west balcony elevation option 1 view and drag that into the sheet. And we can place that so it aligns on the left hand side in the middle of the sheet. And then I'll get the 3D view for balcony option 1, and we can drag and place that onto the sheet. And again, that can align to the left hand side. And now we'll get the option 2 views, so we'll go back to the level 2 balcony option 2 plan, and we can drag that into the view. This time we can place it, and we'll align it centrally here so that the building lines up. And then we'll get the option 2 for the elevation. We can align that with both views horizontally and vertically. And then finally we'll get the other 3D view here for option 2 and drag that into the sheet. And again, we can align those views horizontally and vertically. So now that we've created all of those views and got them assembled onto the sheet, that completes creating the design options.